Greetings, everybody. It is the Garlic Bread Warlord, Nick Leafy. It is soccer over there. We are live from the Brewhouse Cafe, as we are every Monday night, where they have 9,274 televisions here for your viewing pleasure. Please feel free to come up here and join us. We love having people here, and if you show up, we're going to put you on the microphones. And the other people who will be joining you on these microphones are my esteemed colleagues. They are at the vanguard of all things soccer. Just prepare yourselves accordingly if it's your first time listening. For the Mouth of the South, John Nelson.
Check.
And the Godfather himself, Mr. Jason Longshore.
Yo.
Guys, it was kind of a wild and wacky weekend in soccer, to use the what the hip DJs
Is that what the kids say?
That's what the kids say, apparently.
It's not.
No?
No.
That's not what they say?
They don't say that.
Interesting. Can you give me what they would say instead? Can we have a translation here?
They did not say it was fat, PH. They did not say it was totally tubular.
No?
No.
Were they down with the results?
They might have been.
Might have been down with the results?
Yeah. That might still be okay.
I was called old today, so I have to use, some dated terminology. Just because I said that I put my foot down, gentlemen, and said that Prince was the greatest halftime show in Superb Owl history, and you're not moving me from that point. That Prince was the greatest of all time, and the one from last night was very good. It's up there. I would say it's on the Rushmore of great.
Yeah. Shows. I would definitely go there.
But it's not number one.
No, because you can't recreate actual rain during Purple Rain. It's just until that somehow happens again, that will be the best.
Right.
And that's not a knock at all on this one, because in any normal world of live performances, this would be right there.
And it, not to mention that as the rain fell, it was not just a gentle sprinkle, it was a driving rain.
No. Yes.
The dancer's hair was soaked, matted completely down. This is the Prince performance now. The man didn't get wet. It's like his aura, somehow the rain diverted.
He had a force field.
It did. It was the force.
A meteorological force field was around Prince.
Correct. He used the force. The rain bent around him, and it was the greatest halftime performance in human history. So if I have to be called old to say this, I will be old.
No, this is the thing. Like, I think some people said that on social media platforms last night because they were old. Like, some people really were old and said that, and they don't get what this was. That definitely happened. There were people who said that other performances were better, and I wanted to throw things. This performance last night was really good.
It was really good.
Yes, it was.
Really good. And doesn't matter if you're a giant fan of Shakira or J-Lo, it was a really good, entertaining performance. People who had no idea who any of the people on stage were enjoyed the performance.
And I will say this, and then we'll get into the soccer stuff. The fact that, and it's been said by several people, so I'm not claiming this is some original thought. The fact that Miami got that halftime show and we got stuck with Mom Rock and Maroon 5 it's a war crime. And I want to appeal to the world courts.
Court of Arbitration for Sport?
No, we have to go beyond
this. Or just
this,
the World Court?
John, we have to go beyond this.
Okay.
I want tribunals formed to find out how exactly and who authorized Maroon 5 when we have
their label. That's who authorized them.
A dictionary thick worth of phenomenal artists here in Atlanta, and we ended up with Mom Rock with Maroon 5. I demand answers. I want people punished.
You demand satisfaction,
sir?
I
demand satisfaction.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and step out here and make something abundantly clear. I saw Maroon 5.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh, here we go.
4 or 5 times live when they were first breaking through.
Okay.
Really cool guys. Super nice. And I saw them at the Cotton Club, not the old one, but the one at the Tabernacle. A free show after an OAR show after their album came out.
Right.
30 people in there.
Okay.
And they played their asses off. And then came out and shook everybody's hand and had beers, and they were very
classy.
Cool. They are in a different place than they were then. First record, really good. I love their first record. Second record's pretty good. They've had good singles. They're in a whole different stratosphere of getting paid, playing for soccer moms, what have you.
Yeah.
I get it. But my issue is not with them doing it. They're a good act for that kind of show. It's the fact that, like you said, Miami gets something that suits Miami.
Yes.
Correct.
Atlanta had plenty of options for things that would have suited Atlanta,
my God.
and they didn't get it. That's my issue.
Would have been amazing.
That's my issue. It's not about them so much as it could have been. You weren't getting Outkast because Andre didn't want to do that stuff.
No.
You could have had T.I. You could have had Big Boy. You could have had Jeezy. You could have had, the two surviving members of TLC. You could have had Usher. We could keep going.
Oh, yeah.
You could have had all of that. You could have had Future. You could have had Migos. You can just keep going down the list, and you could have had any of that combination.
Collective Soul.
That wouldn't have fit with everybody else I just mentioned at all. And I love Collective Soul, and those guys are great, but no. Migos and Collective Soul, it's not really a mashup there, John.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
But the thing is, though, is that I think we can all agree that they turned to the corporate dark side a long time ago. And as a result of that, we were stuck in that fine building downtown that Uncle Arthur has put a significant amount of money, along with the great state of Georgia and the city of Atlanta, and put a ton of money into that place. It is the modern pantheon of athletics and entertainment, and yet we were stuck with corporate mom rock.
Generic.
And that
very
generic, it was walking khaki, and that cannot be allowed. I demand
If
tribunal.
Jim Harbaugh were a band,
Pleated khakis. It was pleated khakis of entertainment, and I demand better after watching that fine performance in Miami.
So if you were going to book an artist for the Champions League final to play pregame, because they can't play at halftime because you're not going to extend the halftime or something like that, who would you book?
The Champions League here in Atlanta.
Champions League, UEFA Champions League.
so where is it this?
So you're thinking a worldwide, don't even think about that, just
Oh.
a worldwide artist.
Well, if a worldwide artist is going to be different than an Atlanta one, but you're calling U2 up and you're getting U2 to come out.
I think they're kind of past it. I don't
think
know
U2's
if
past it?
I still like U2, but I don't think
Yeah?
they would get the reaction that last night got. I think you got to go.
Well, Russia
newer.
called Robbie Williams in.
Well, that's even more past it.
And to me, that's like,
That was bad, and I like Robbie Williams.
Terrible.
That was bad.
That was terrible.
That was like 10 years too late.
ABBA? You're getting ABBA. Was it ABBA got a deal?
Hey, UEFA could probably pay him the money.
Yeah.
I don't know. Didn't the King of Sweden offer them like
$1 billion.
to do another tour, and they said, we're good.
We're good.
Wow.
Frida.
Yeah, $1 billion with a B for a tour. And they said, nah,
and it
fam.
wasn't Frida who shot it down.
No.
Right? It was Agnetha who shot it down.
Agneta?
Agneta. She shot it down.
Benny and Bjorn were like, nah, fam, we're good.
Nah, see, anything to get Frida back
So
on
you're not
stage.
getting that. If they turn down $1 billion, you're not getting them for a Champions League final.
Nope.
No, you're
Not happening.
I mean, look, I think that I stick with.
Take Shakira and J-Lo and go
Yeah,
to
really?
it.
Why not?
I'd be fine with that.
It worked. Look, obviously, based on the Twitter reactions I saw, that is something that would be overwhelmingly popular.
Yes.
And,
Bring Bad Bunny and J Balvin with them, and you're good.
Let's go. But you know what? You have to do Pitbull right. You have to bring Pitbull up.
No.
But what is this?
No, Pitbull
See,
is Mr.
John is very anti-Pitbull, too. I don't get it. Like, you're okay with J Balvin and Bad Bunny, but you are so upset about Pitbull.
Every time I go zooming past that channel.
What channel?
The Pitbull channel on Sirius XM. Satellite
It's
radio.
good.
Every time I hit it, I'm like, nah, does nothing for me.
nothing
They
for you.
played J Balvin and Bad Bunny a lot.
But when I'm buzzing past Pitbull radio and I see Pitbull, and I'm
It has nothing to do with Pitbull.
hearing
does
the tune, and I'm like, it says, and it'll say Pitbull radio, and then it'll say the song and the artist. When I see Pitbull every single time, I'm like, no. See, I'm more of a Drake guy than I am a Pitbull guy.
They have nothing to do with one another.
No, not Drake. Not Drake.
No, they have nothing to do with one another.
But hey, I remember Aubrey when he was on Degrassi. That's how far back I go. Aubrey Graham.
Before he wore every jersey of every team that was remotely approaching first place.
That's what he does now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like look.
Anyway, I think Pitbull partied with Andy Reid, so he was good last night.
Oh, I know, but you can't have a Miami party without. And now he is. Is he the official artist of the Miami FC?
Yes, he is not
The
with Inter
Miami
Miami.
FC.
He is with the Miami FC.
He is not, because he is not Mr. Fort Lauderdale. He is Mr. Miami.
That's
He's
cold.
Mr. 305.
Mr. 305.
That's cold. You guys are going to be really upset when Inter Miami's a big thing and all the trash that you guys have talked.
Miami is a big thing. They're not playing in Miami.
I said the club.
Okay. I'm just saying. Okay.
I'm just saying. Y'all are going to be like, I was wrong.
Bring
there.
the Herons.
what's
I love
hilarious?
the gear. I love.
Love
No,
the
you
gear.
can't buy the gear. No, you can't buy the gear.
Love the gear.
You've talked too much trash.
I have somebody buy it for me.
No.
I would buy
no,
Palermo.
they're gonna have you
I would
blocked.
just buy Palermo gear. If I wanted black and hot pink, I would buy Palermo
They
gear.
do need to lean more into the black and hot pink.
And be good with it. But what's hilarious is the second team and the first team are playing in the same stadium. The second team is Fort Lauderdale.
Because the first team's going to play in Miami.
They're not going to play in Miami.
Well, that's not their fault. Blame Miami politics
I
for that
blame
one.
Miami politics. All I'm saying is that when you put out 7 artist renderings of what your downtown Miami stadium is going to look like, and each one's different, and then each one subsequently gets moved farther outside of the city.
Yeah, because people keep filing lawsuits and stuff to keep fighting it. And then,
That's David Beckham's fault. That's not.
No, I don't think it is.
That's the crazy dude that keeps filing all the
yeah,
lawsuits.
I think it's beyond it. I think they're making the best of
It's
it.
all
We'll
about
see where they
money.
go with it.
It's
No, it is
all
all about
about
money.
money.
It's all about money and power.
The Moss brothers could walk up and be like, "Fam, you tell me when to stop writing zeros to get you out of here."
I don't think it's quite that simple. I think it's more complicated than that. But we'll see what happens. We'll get back to Miami because they're going to be a team to talk about this season with. Looks like Rodolfo Pizarro is happening.
That's
Looks
a good
like
signing.
it's a done deal. It's a good signing. It's not the fancy buzz signing that people expected, but as a player, that's a good get.
He will become a name state.
He will,
Yeah.
and they'll still have a designated player slot. If I was them, I'd hold it till the summer.
Yep.
And then get whichever big name you want to go grab.
Yeah.
I would hold it. I think they're good enough to compete in the first half of the year. Don't go get another Pizarro level guy.
No,
you've sold it as a big name. Go get a big name.
It's going to be the money burning signing where it's not going to be somebody you're going to sign later or you're selling off.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that guy. It's going to be somebody you're going to bring in and him.
Yeah.
And then you're just going to set your money on fire and hopefully win the league.
Okay,
That's the way to do it.
Here's who's going to do the pregame at Europa at the Champions League final this year.
Oh, it's already booked.
No,
No.
I'm guessing.
Oh,
Since it's not Shakira and J-Lo,
no.
it's going to be Duncan Lawrence from the Netherlands.
Who? What?
What?
He won the 2019 Eurovision Song Contest.
No, it's not going to happen.
No.
And there is no, since it's in Turkey, I would have given a Turkish act, but no Turkish act made it into the semifinals.
Look, if you're gonna go old school, at least bring back Ricky Martin and have him redo like the World Cup from.
Yeah, down with that. It's
the World Cup opening ceremony.
It is the best official World Cup song.
Yeah, Copa de la Vida was incredible.
I was going to say "Livin' La Vida and Talia Spore."
No,
all I'm saying is
no. He hates Ricky Martin too, Nick.
Copa de la Vida is the greatest World Cup song outside of
official.
Ole, ole, ole.
Because Waving Flag was
Waving
not the
Flag,
official
yeah,
song.
yeah, it's
That's the
greatest.
best song related to a World Cup.
Correct, but it's anything's better than Robbie Williams bringing him out today.
Yeah, the boss
Yeah.
actually knew about
And-
the Ricky Martin and the World Cup song. She actually knew that.
Well,
was
see,
big. It was
that's right.
huge.
It was huge.
It was like a gigantic hit. It launched him in English language.
In Italy in '98, you couldn't go anywhere.
Ole,
and not
ole,
find-
ole.
Every club, every discotheque, the club. You could have 6 songs in a row that cratered the dance floor, and as soon as Copa de la Vida came on, they all came rushing back in like a human swarm and would just go nuts in the dance floor.
It was better than
it was amazing.
2002, I think the official World Cup song was by Anastasia.
I think so.
It was cheesy, generic
I
pop.
might vaguely remember her.
2006, I don't remember what it was. 2010, it was Shakira. It was Waka Waka, which was good, but not as good as Waving Flag from the same year. But that was not official.
I just remember they closed out with U2's One.
Oh, no. In 2006, they used U2 on the
2006.
broadcast
Yeah.
a lot, and it was
Yeah,
great.
Celebrate the Day, a single by Herbert Gronemeyer featuring Amadou Bagayoko and Mariam Doumbia, adopted as the official theme song for the 2006 FIFA World Cup held in Germany.
Okay, they kind of missed on that one. That didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
that's not a great one.
The 2014 one with John's favorite artist, Pitbull, was a good one, too.
I've heard of
And
him.
J-Lo.
That's quality.
So that ties it all together. Let's get into Italian soccer, Nick.
Let's do it. Let's go. Allegedly, allegedly, there are reports working around this through Bild that Ralf Rangnick will be joining AC Milan this summer as the club's new head coach and sporting director. For those who don't know who this
Good
fine
afternoon.
gentleman is, he is, according to Bill, he's the Red Bull head of international relations and former Red Bull Leipzig boss. He's going to be joining Milan. Are the Rossoneri going Gegenpress?
What in the what?
Like this is absolute madness. It's insanity.
One, you've never had a manager go to Italy and try to run that kind of style.
No.
Like, it's never happened. And, like, this guy's never been out of Germany, I think. He's been involved with the Red Bull organization, so he's affected Salzburg. But actually managing, no. So what is Milan doing, Nick?
Well, apparently there's going to be a lot of promises and a lot of letdown because currently the 61-year-old focuses on the New York Red Bulls.
No, he doesn't.
And the Red Bull Brasil.
I think he might be focusing there.
So the concern here for me, obviously, is that let's say they go and they want to change the whole style.
So
right?
he's going to be the man. He's not just in the background. He's going to be the manager.
He's going to be the manager.
So he managed Leipzig last season.
And in 2015-16.
Right, but
previously.
he managed them last season.
Yep.
And then stepped away to be more global over Red Bull soccer.
Right. And so the concern I have is that how much time is this guy going to get? Because Atlanta fans don't have to go terribly far to find the last time an Italian club attempted to bring someone in from the outside to bring this brand new system to Italy, because Inter bought Frank de Boer in, and he's going to bring the Dutch system to Inter, and it's going to be amazing and awesome. And they didn't give him a lot of time.
No.
And that's nowhere near the changeover in philosophy that this is. Like, that takes time.
Yep.
This takes years.
Yeah.
Because this changes the way you recruit. This changes the way you develop in the academy. This changes everything about your club.
Correct.
Because you can't go halfway into playing the style.
No.
You can't say, oh, well, we're going to press sometimes. No, you can't. Like, everything is based on it. Nothing is about any of the standards that Milan has had over its lifespan.
No, what you're doing is you're looking at your past. You're looking at Sacchi's Milan. You're looking at Ancelotti's Milan, and you're saying sometimes you have to kill the past. You're going full Last Jedi on it. You're doing lightsabers through everything and everyone you ever loved. It's all going to die and burn now.
You tell me how well that goes over in Italy.
Not well.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Not well. And look, there's also the economic realities of what Red Bull, the philosophy, brings. And that is that you can theoretically take someone from a Division III college and, train them in this system and throw them in, and they're going to be competitive. Are they going to be world beaters? No. But you could bring in someone of low repute and bring them in and just throw them in and have it work. Italy needs something to change the current dynamic, because if you look across the board outside of the major corporate-backed Juventus, very few teams are doing well from a financial standpoint. They don't own their own stadiums. The cities own the stadiums. The cities will not allow them to build new stadiums where they can engage in more revenue generation. And as a result, you're relying on sales, advertising, your TV deal, and butts in seats. And as from my conversation with Pierluigi whenever I was in Padova, and he was, lamenting the fact that Atlanta can put 65,000 in Mercedes-Benz, and they can't even fill a stadium for, a standard Lazio game or a Roma game or a Milan game. You're behind the eight ball as it is. And when they instituted financial fair play, it was all the Italians started screaming, "We will not survive this," because it was which billionaire owns the club and is just dumping a wall of cash in. You have to change it. And so maybe the Red Bull philosophy here, which I can see from the Elliott Fund, who owns it, their vulture hedge fund, which is, hey, we're going to keep costs super low. We're done bringing in aging veterans. We're done doing transfers like the Piontek transfer that really didn't work out at all. You took a loss on that deal. And instead, we are going to focus on our academy. We're going to rebuild the academy, and we are going to build and sell and try to make a run to the top when we can.
All right. I got a couple questions for you.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm
listening.
When you think of Milan and the way that they play,
Yep.
because they are one of these clubs that has an identity, they've got
They
a
used to.
style. Yeah, I mean, I think it's still there to a degree. But when you think of the way that the classic Milan,
Yep.
3 in the back, right?
Classic Milan?
Yeah, libero, 3 in the back.
In the Catenaccio days, no, they ended up going to they ran a 4-3-3 for a while,
And then they shifted to the 4.
and then they shifted 4-3-3, and then Ancelotti ran the Christmas tree
Yep.
for a while, and then the main issue with the transition came after Allegri, because after they got rid of Allegri, then you just ran into management change after management change after management change.
Okay.
So it wasn't so much from a structure standpoint as it was the system tinkering that took place. That you never really gave anyone a chance.
So from the way that they play, though, strong defensively,
Yes.
good defensive base,
Yes.
and that's priority 1, right?
Priority 1.
Not high press, not anything like that,
No.
but just strong back line in whatever shape.
You had a strong back line. You had a physical midfield, typically with someone in the middle who could finesse action for you.
So a destroyer and somebody who can play.
Yep.
They've incorporated skilled players, flair players.
Absolutely.
Okay. This guy, Ragnick, very consistent 4-2-2-2. 4-4-2, but it's kind of 2 holding, 2 wingers that tuck inside, 2 up top. So you got 2 number 6s. The attacking midfielders are narrow. They don't try to build up play. It's play long, and you don't win it. That's fine. You're going to press. It feels like the opposite of what I think of when I think of Milan.
Right.
And this is pretty rigid in the way that this guy sees the game. And it's not something that's like new for him. He was really one of the forerunners of what Jurgen Klopp became.
Yeah, and
This is bizarre to me.
yeah, and well, I don't think it's just the style of play that's the issue here. I think it really comes down to the economics. Is that Milan is deep in the red. They are not even attempting to be financially, from an FFP standpoint, they're not even trying to be compliant at this
Right.
point. They have said we're spending. I don't know how you're going to say we're going to continue to spend when you've already been barred from Europe.
And
You
you're
were
going to
barred from
have to
Europe.
spend to do this.
Yeah, you get.
Something else doesn't make sense. I mean,
Oh, come on. Hey, get a microphone, my man.
something else doesn't make sense. I mean, this guy hasn't been thought about today, and it was only 2 weeks ago that they got Ibrahimovic.
Yeah.
And I don't see Ibrahimovic
forget
doing
it. That ain't
a high
happening.
press.
No.
So it's like there's just no thought process there whatsoever. Yeah.
No, and that's something that has to be noted here is that this is a team that for a long time they said we are going to bring in, we want to have a lineage of managers. We have managers that we can go back and say this is Milan, this is the tie-in, and they tried doing this with Inzaghi because he ran the Primavera, and then they moved him up, and then you saw this with Seedorf, you saw it with Inzaghi. They brought up Gattuso. And it was can. None of them got any time to really do anything. And then they went through this string of Interistas who came through. You had Gianpaolo. Yeah, well, first you had Mihailovic. Then you had Gianpaolo. You have now Pioli. And it's just this is a team that is fundamentally lost right now. And I think, to your point, the team is not remotely built for this.
Speed is what you need.
This is. There's nothing in this roster that is speed. Nothing.
Decisions contradicted.
Yeah.
Completely contradicted. Yeah.
This was the most
Completely
bizarre
contradicted each
rumor
other.
I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Blown away by it.
Yeah. It's something when this came through, I had to do a triple take on it because it made so little sense from an economic standpoint because you're going to have to blow up your roster and bring in new players. You're going to have to get a fan base that has already largely checked out, that is just now buying back in because they're competitive. Now you're gonna ask them, hey, put that excitement on hold because we're gonna suck for a little while, and we're gonna completely rebuild this thing from the ground up. There's so many concerns here because in Serie A, Milan was down at like 12th at one point this year, and that's like they were steady at 12th. They actually dipped below that. Mm-hmm. Relegation is not completely out of the picture. I mean, and if you go to this style, it's not like you're going to be able to go in the transfer market and just say, hey, we're going to completely raid you, Red Bull's organization, and just like buy half a team to come in here. I mean, they've had so many bad investments from the Lee stewardship when they spent $250 million in transfers in like one window and it just completely went to crap. How are you going to afford this? Two, which players on your roster now are going to run this? Because you just started the younger Maldini, the third generation Maldini player and striker this year.
Right.
Are you going to ask this kid if, hey, we need you to run this press, we need you to be high speed? If that's not the kid's forte, you're going to ask him to do that? Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? You're going to sell a Maldini? Let me know how that goes over with the fan base.
That's the stuff that I really think this ends incredibly badly if you go down this road.
Yeah. It's such a nightmare. I'll give you the list of managers here because this is where it gets hilarious. From 2014, this is how rough a shape Milan has been. Allegri, Tassati, Seedorf, Inzaghi, Mihailovic, Brocchi, Montella, Gattuso, Giampaolo, Pioli. That's since 2014. Does that sound like a club that has its act together?
No.
No, not at all. Not remotely.
Here's your relegation zone currently. Genoa's at 16, Brescia is at 15, Spal is also at 15, and they're a goal behind when it comes to goal difference. Lecce is the one that's out of relegation zone currently at 19 points. Mm-hmm. Milan is at 32, currently in 8th by goal difference, 6 behind Parma.
Right. And you have a team now that's competitive, which is something you couldn't say from the opening of the season until like 2 weeks ago. I was against the Pioli hire. I was not happy with it. I'm really personally tired of this string of former Inter players and Inter supporters who are now taking over the club. I'm pretty petty. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Wait, what?
I know it's shocking. I mean, how many Celtic fans would be happy if a Rangers guy took over?
Whoa.
Or I mean, really, or an Eindhoven manager took over Ajax, or a Liverpool hero took over
or a Manchester
Everton.
United guy took over Tottenham.
Hey.
But he's not. They don't look at him as a Manchester United guy, and you know that. That's more of a Chelsea guy taking over Tottenham.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's what we have now is you're telling if there's any remote veracity to this report, you're telling every player on that team this whole thing's about to get blown up. And when that happens, this thing could go free fall quickly. And if you're the Elliott Fund, and there have been rumors, yep, there it is. There's the fire sale.
That's the Milan fire truck.
Milan fire sale, just the blue light special on aisle 4. But the question really comes in, what are these players going to buy into then? Because you're competitive now. You're in 8th. That was unheard of 2 months ago. And there's a possibility you're going to challenge for Europa spot. I don't even know if they would let you in Europa because your books are such a disaster zone. But, I mean...
I think the word of the day for Nick is apoplectic.
But I was against the Pioli hire. Fine. Great. He has proven me wrong. I have no problem with keeping him one more year and letting the club get stable. Get some stabilization at least. We heard the string of managers. Mm-hmm. What about a little stability? This is somebody who's is making dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision. Somebody whose bank account, they wake up one morning, the bills are due, they discover that they have $5 in their bank account. Instead of going out and getting a second job, they sign up for a second credit card. And so then they start running up the credit card debt going, ha, 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 paid my bills. And then next thing you know, that first month's credit card bill hits. And now you still have $5 in your account because you haven't fixed the overwhelming issue, which is your dumb doesn't know how to budget. So you got to fix your budget, fix your money issues, and don't make dumb decision after dumb decision. Oh, wait, hold, my car's breaking down. I'll go buy a brand new car in addition to all this credit.
With a third credit card.
With a third credit card because it's Vegas time over here. Just get stable. Fix the bleeding before anything else. Right? It's like somebody's bleeding out from their stomach's cut open and maybe we should give this guy a haircut. Like it makes no damn sense.
It's like your clothes are a mess. Let's take you to the cleaners.
That's all right. We're going to take you to the cleaners.
Okay. You want an update?
Oh, God.
No, it's good for you.
Okay. All right.
AC Milan has rejected reports that the traditional Italian club is in negotiations
thank God.
with Rangnick. The news had no basis, said a club spokesperson for
God.
the German press agency on Monday.
Oh.
Rangnick's consultant was initially unavailable for comment. I guess it was him who was quoted in this article. So a few weeks ago, it had been denied by both sides.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like maybe there's something going on, but it's not as far along as this.
Huh?
Either that or Milan is a soap opera club that even when under the old days, under the Italian Trump, they had their own shares of drama, right? But even with the Elliott Fund in charge now, there's still the Italian side that want to do things their way. And that there's a lot of Italian businesses that support that club, corporations that support that club. Don't put it past them to rip that up and say, hey, we're walking away if this isn't done the Italian way.
Right.
Because that is a legacy club. This isn't like bringing this guy in and having him run Atalanta, which would, trust me, those ultras are nuts at Atalanta. They would absolutely go psycho. But it would be different because they're a club that, okay, that's something we can entertain. Or Genoa. Like if Genoa did it, like, all right, cool. Yeah. This is going to make us competitive. This is going to get us top, 3-4 on a regular. Yeah, absolutely, baby. Let's go.
Right.
But for Milan, that's a legacy Italian club. You got to try to at least do it the Italian way. They would accept a Dutch manager because they have such a strong Dutch history, but they would not go for this.
Yeah, this is a complete departure.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I think there'll be more from it for a while.
Call Silvio back up, man. Get Berlusconi back. I never thought I would say that a day in my life. Call Silvio up. Call him up.
Wow. Okay. Let's change it to something else because Nick might lose his mind here if he's calling for those things.
Thank God I don't have any hair.
Jeez. All right, where do you want to go?
All right.
You want to get into Liverpool, Manchester City? Because that's a big one, and Manchester City keeps dropping points.
Well, first of all, at this point, it's like a Corvette trying to catch the Saturn V. It's not happening.
No, it's done.
No.
It's been done, but yes.
It's been
Someone
done.
actually asked Guardiola if you have a chance to catch him, is the race over?
Are you just trying to goad him into something when you ask that?
And the look on Guardiola's face was like, what?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I don't
that's
know.
dumb.
It was not a.
That's just trying to get a reaction.
It's not a pretty picture.
That's trying to get a picture. That's all that is.
Right.
Because it's been done. But the question that some are asking in England is Manchester City suffering from Pep fatigue? And yeah, we've seen this happen before. Look, he's very demanding. He asks complete and utter focus, and you've had two of the best seasons that you could possibly have. It's hard to follow that up. And yeah, they won a Champions League, and they could possibly get a Champions League. Not the way they're playing right now, but they have the talent to do it. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to stay motivated after the two seasons they've had. Back-to-back, two of the best seasons you could possibly have.
Right.
It looks bad. You've had injuries. You've had issues. You've had things that have been outside of the control. He seems tired. It feels more like last season at Barcelona than anything he's done since that.
I get it. I understand. But if there are some jobs where if you sign up for it and you sign up for the high-profile job, you better be ready to do the high-profile work on a regular basis. And I understand that he He won based on his success. He's allowed an off year.
He should be, and that's what kind of blows my mind. Some of the reaction to it.
But by off year, I don't mean being this far behind Liverpool. I mean,
well,
I don't know necessarily what you because we talk about this great gap that exists now between Liverpool and everyone else. That's not just on Liverpool being great. Other teams have dropped points to help facilitate that gap.
It's both.
So when it comes to Man City, though, you have every resource available to you. You can have an off year, but what does an off year look like? We may need to redefine what an off year looks like for a team like Man City.
But you got to be realistic, and this is the thing. If you're Manchester City, I don't think they're looking to move on from him. I think he might be looking to move on himself.
Right.
I think he might say, you know what, I'm burnt out. I'm going to go take a break.
They're not getting rid of him.
No, they'd be silly to. And anybody who thinks that they should, I think you're losing the plot here because you do that. And who are you going to go get?
That.
Don't give me the we'll find a great manager. No. You give me a name now.
Yeah.
On who? Like, if it's Eric Ten Hag, you better have Eric Ten Hag's name on a pre-contract ready to go.
Yes. And that would be the type of person that would make sense. And it's a pretty small list of people that would make sense to follow Guardiola and continue. It's a really weird situation. I've been surprised at how many people have come out trashing Guardiola about this season. There's a lot of people who felt like they've had the knives out ready when he slipped. And you get what's the classic insult? He's a checkbook manager.
Yeah.
How many managers have had a checkbook like this and haven't done anything with it?
Oh, I mean,
yeah, it's a long list.
Yeah.
The last two, it's like we're forgetting about the last two seasons of. It's the best two seasons back to back in Premier League history, correct? I think it's the best two seasons in English top flight history. Yeah. Period. Now Liverpool's probably going to break that point total this season. Are they going to do it back to back? Probably with this season and last season, maybe. But you're talking about two of the greatest seasons. Period. Mm-hmm. It's not like he fell into a title and then that's it.
Right.
You know, it's kind of shocking what this reaction is to it. I don't know. I don't know where they go from here because he really does look tired.
His body language looks like he's wiped. I mean, maybe
he didn't look like that when he left Bayern. When he left Bayern and he went to City, he looked energized. He looked to be up for it. It was a new challenge. He talked about how much he learned at Bayern and how he thought he could go at first and take Barcelona to Bayern, and he realized that, one, I don't have Messi, so I got to figure out some different solutions. And two, there's a culture here that as much as they have to adapt to what I want, I have to adapt to what they bring to the table too. Same thing at Manchester City. You had elements that you had to bring in. He talked about how he had never focused on set pieces as much as you do in England. He never focused on the second ball as much as you do because it just wasn't a focus. Mm-hmm. They had the ball. They didn't need the second ball. They always had the first ball. They had the ball.
Right.
So he had to adjust, and he did, and he had two great seasons. But now it's like the whole thing, and I think Liverpool's rise as well has just worn him down.
But okay, so what's wearing him down then?
Not having Laporte, not having Sané.
No, I don't even think it has anything to do with that. I think it's the way he works. Like, he's obsessive.
Yes, very.
And if he had those guys, I think he might still be worn down because of the challenge. I mean, when he left Barcelona, what wore him down was the feud with Mourinho.
Right.
The feud with Madrid and how just toxic and nasty it got. And he was done.
And not having Vincent Kompany too.
Lost of that.
You lost the figure of Vincent Kompany. You lost the presence of Vincent Kompany. I mean, there's a lot of things this year that is different. And I think he's just worn out and doesn't have the solutions like he used to.
But if you find yourself getting all in, like going all in on a project, right? And guys, we've all done some production work. We've all done something where we've been just eyes in, locked in on something. You don't go half donkey on anything. I mean, I get it. You burn yourself out. It is something that I've seen happen to a lot of creatives.
And he didn't take a break after Bayern.
No.
He did when he left Barca. He took a sabbatical year. He did 3 years at Bayern, and now this is year 4 at City?
Then
or year 5? I think it's year 4.
When Liverpool clinches, it's hard to say because they're still in Champions League. But if anything goes sideways with Champions League, let's just throw this out. If anything goes sideways with Champions League, you need to pull a Putin and just step back. I'm ill. I'm sick. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm stepping away for a minute. And then you have the secondary guy who steps up, and he's the interim manager. Mm-hmm. And then whenever Pep feels like, okay, I'm good, I've had my step away for a little bit, come back in. And the club knows it, the interim manager knows it, and the interim manager just kind of gets the handshake deal of, look, you do this for us, you do us a solid, I promise you, we have Scrooge McDuck money, and you will never worry about anything in your life ever again.
That's what City should try to make happen.
Yeah. You should try to make that happen.
I honestly think Pep should go take a year off. I think he should go recharge and go somewhere else. I mean, honestly, I think the place he should go if he wants that new challenge and he gets into those things, like it's all about learning and adapting. He should go to Italy.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be a club that's going to have the money that he's going to want. I don't know if he would want to take a Juventus on. They would be the one right now. I think after this, after being at 3 of the world's biggest, most expensive clubs, and City maybe wasn't that when he arrived, but they are now, he might be more interested in just a little bit below that, more of a project. I mean, this is a guy who's romantic about the game, and I don't think he's feeling any of that right now. He doesn't look like he's enjoying himself. He doesn't sound like he's enjoying himself.
No, and for that project, I would say Roma.
Yeah, and they would have money, and they would be able to go get him players that can play in the way he wants, but he can also bring players up a little bit. You know, like he likes to do both. That would be. They'd be interesting. I guess the ownership situation is going to be the question.
Well, as it stands now, the Friedkin Group has passed through due diligence with Roma. Everything's been checked off. It's allegedly the deal is set to close within the next week or so. Mm-hmm. Jim Pilato's ready to sell.
He played at Roma too, right?
Yes.
For a very short period of time.
Short period of time. But you're talking about a city that is known, loved, respected overall. It's he would
love the culture there.
Yeah, I think he would enjoy being back in Italy again. If he were to make them competitive, it would be something.
Yeah, and he would be going in for more than that.
I'm just saying, like because there are some projects that you get a hold of and you're like, hey, look, I'm not ready to be done, but I'm not ready for quite the work that I had previously.
Right, and he wouldn't take that.
If he has that, but let's just say he has that mindset, and he showed up at Roma, they would be okay with that. They would be okay with, we're finishing top 3? My God in heaven, this is amazing. Why we should have done this ages ago. But, if he gets any sort of success there, if he wins the Scudetto, I mean, he would never – Rome would just hand stuff over to him. Rome would just – it would be amazing for him. But I think that's the one place that he would go. Juventus would not be a project. Juventus is a corporate machine.
There's nothing to – well, I mean, but he went to Bayern, which wasn't a project either, but it was more about development for him.
Right.
And Bayern also wanted more of an identity because they didn't really have that at the time. Bayern, I mean, as a playing identity is what I'm saying. So, like, that's why they brought him in, and he had a huge impact on them in that way. Manchester City wanted to bring him in a decade ago. Like, they were preparing for him to go there, hiring all his friends from Barca. Where he goes next would be fascinating, but I think that day's coming. I mean, I didn't expect him. Did he do an extension at some point this season? I think he did. I didn't expect him to be at City this long. And I think maybe he's there a year too long.
But, I mean, really, has he been, though? I mean, for his standards, perhaps.
Yeah, he has. For him. And he's a different guy. He's a different cat. So
then it's time. It's time to step away.
I think it's showing.
Yeah.
I really do. Like the game, and that was this one. Like they dominated against Tottenham, who, I mean, Tottenham was efficient. Yeah, you can give them that. They scored 2 goals on 3 shots on goal. It was classic Mourinho. It wasn't anything new from Jose. And usually Pep is up for that battle, and he just didn't really even seem all that engaged.
If the Dyla situation were different at NYCFC, would you consider NYCFC to be a part of
not
it?
Yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Eventually, yes. I think he will do something like that, but not now. He's not going to go from Manchester City to New York City.
I mean, I was thinking if he took a sabbatical,
he needs a break, and then who knows? I mean, that's why I wouldn't even commit to anything right now. I think he needs to go take a year. He really needs some time to decompress, because it's been 7 years straight with a ton of pressure at Bayern and Manchester City. And look, he hasn't won the Champions League in the last 7 years.
But maybe
think he
those
cares.
around him need to step up and say, all right, Pep, it's time to take on a smaller project. And if he says, no, I'm not ready for that, good on him. That's his choice, but you've got to be up then. You can't have this I'm going to fade away mess. And if it comes down to his mental health, my guy, step away. Just step away and go take your time. But if you want the big job, there's big pressure. And if you know what your shelf life is for big pressure situations, and he seems to have one, that's not a knock, it's just a statement of fact.
Most everybody does.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you don't have any sort of shelf life for this kind of pressure, there's a part of you that's a little nuts.
Yes.
You know, like there's some internal mechanisms that need sorting. And so I hope he does take a year off, step away, and then come back and manage Roma, because that would be absolutely awesome for Serie A.
That would be a lot of fun. I'd be down for that.
But but what I saw in this game is, while yes, Man City looked organized in the back, organized in the midfield, in the front they were a mess. They should have won the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Aguero had 2 in the first half, one off the post and one that he was dead to rights and just sent it wide.
Yep.
It just looked to me like it was a team that was not all there. And Mourinho's side, they did what they did. You saw the 2 banks of 4, the low block, and we're not exactly going to mark you super tight, but we will cut off every passing lane humanly available to you, and we're just going to choke you out of the game. And it was only because of that nice the 1-2 action up top with Aguero that they were in the game. But at the same time, Spurs had some moments where they were trying to work out of the back, and they almost just gifted the ball to City.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they were alert and on it and focused, maybe, just maybe, they're walking out of there with a win, and probably a comfortable one. But
2-0 the other way.
Yeah, now it's 2-0 the other way. Because it is. There's such a tremendous gap. At some point, you just got to think, is it Champions League time yet? Is it Champions League?
Well, and I think that, Guardiola has said that he thinks that his season is now to be measured by what they do in Champions League.
Well, yeah, it has to be. I mean, there's nothing else that matters. They are where they are. They're not going to win the Premier League.
Nope.
That's done.
Yeah.
Champions League comes back on the 18th. And City doesn't play until the following week.
But it's a big one.
Yeah, that guy Zinedine Zidane, who's been pretty good in this competition.
Yeah. It's just Real Madrid,
No big deal.
They from what I understand, they have some sort of reputation when it comes to Champions League play. That Real Madrid side,
Yeah. So you want a little bit of Mondays with Reddit? Real
Mondays
quick?
with Reddit.
So a journalist said to Zidane after their match, "They say you're very lucky." He said, "Saying I'm lucky, that's true. I'm lucky to be with this team. I'm lucky to be the coach of Real Madrid." He walked away and said, "I don't want any more of this nonsense."
Yep.
And they went into the tank.
They did.
Or wherever the tank is for Real Madrid. It's not quite the tank for other teams, but it's still a tank.
Correct.
And then he just said, okay, I'll come back. And they're going to probably win La Liga. And they were a disaster in preseason, and everybody's flipping out, and they're just cruising along.
He's the only manager who could do what he did.
It's crazy.
He's the only manager. Any other manager who walks into that buzzsaw of Real Madrid leadership is getting whacked.
Yeah.
They sent Carlo Ancelotti packing. They sent everybody. I mean, and this is not like washed Carlo. This is like Carlo still of significant repute. You're booting him out for what? You know, and for a guy to walk away and then come back in and be like, yeah, I'm back, but here are my terms.
Yep.
Like, no, we're gonna
no. You don't understand.
Yeah.
I will be back.
Well, and here's another one, because I think this is one of the things about it, is according to sources from other clubs that have contacted him, Real Madrid is the chosen option of one Mbappe, who will depart PSG in 20 or 21 and join Real Madrid.
Let me know how that works.
Zidane's there, you know.
Zidane's there, but
$283 million for Liverpool if they wanted him in the past window.
There you go.
I don't think he wanted to go there. I think he wants to go to Madrid.
And after the blow-up that he had with Thomas Tuchel over the weekend.
Hey, if Real Madrid can pull it off, make your dreams come true.
They have. They will. They can.
I say go ahead and get it done.
Yeah, I mean, go get it now. Because Zidane might walk away again and you're stuck.
But to watch Zidane go Michael Corleone to that leader, that organization, treating that organization like Mo Green is absolutely hilarious. I mean, I've never seen anything like this, and he's the one guy who can do it. I mean, he is. He just walks in and goes, "No, that's not what's going to happen." Like, whoa, hold up. I'm Mo Green. I was doing this when you were in diapers. Like, no.
No, you don't understand.
Man, it's gonna get real for Madrid here in the next couple of weeks. You have the Champions League with Manchester City, and then El Clasico on March 1st.
Ooh,
wow, spicy.
Yeah, it's
like
about
that.
to get very spicy for the Madridistas.
All right, very good. What else do we have on Mondays with Reddit?
Mondays with Reddit.
Let's see what else is going on Mondays with Reddit.
Mondays with Reddit.
I didn't say anything yet. Okay. Here's an interesting one. So Xavi Campos, who is on radio in Catalonia, is saying that FC Barcelona spoke with Marcelo Gallardo in the fall as one of the candidates to take over for Valverde in June. Now, it looks like they've deviated from that plan of waiting till June and bring in somebody, because they have brought in somebody.
Yeah.
But Gallardo was the guy who they identified at one point.
Okay.
He's going to be in Europe in the next season. I don't think he's at River after the summer.
I hope to God he goes to the right situation, though.
Yeah, that's the
really
concern. I don't want him to go to PSG, but I worry that he will end up in France.
If somebody approaches you with that much money,
it's hard to say no, but man, you should.
You really should.
You really should say no to PSG.
But when they show up and they walk off the plane, and it's like a private, a private 777.
It's a nice plane. It's a really nice plane. It smells good.
What a nice wing.
Yeah, it's like it's a whole private. It's like there's no extra seats it's like there's one golden seat in the middle of the private 777, private wait staff, filet mignon.
You know, Eric Repair comes out of the back and says hi. What would you like to eat? Whatever you want. You know.
Yeah. They have like the entire luggage compartment is nothing but unmarked American currency.
Yeah, that's true.
And you get to live
storage.
Right.
It's like, no, we're not storing luggage. That's not the luggage compartment.
And you really should say no.
That's right. Every part of you says, I need to walk away from this. Is not good. Is this my cash? No. This is just extra cash that we keep
That's
in the plane.
emergency supply.
Yeah. It helps balance the plane out that we found. If we use unmarked American bills, feel free, take some if you want.
Yeah.
But no, walk away.
Once we land, if we're okay ballast-wise, you can go ahead and take some.
You can take some.
By the way, did you see that Neymar's going to miss PSG's match at Nantes tomorrow?
Why?
Due to a rib injury after celebrating his 28th birthday at a Paris nightclub
That's
on
a celebration
Sunday.
right there.
Shocker.
So that was after the match this weekend, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct.
The one where he was carded?
That was the worst yellow card I've seen in a long
For
time.
showboating.
That's ridiculous.
That's the most ignorant. How many times have we defended Neymar on this podcast?
This is the first time.
Yeah,
This
this
is
would
the
be
very first
one.
time. He rainbowed these fools, and he got a card for it. I have never in my life seen an official do something this ignorant.
That referee should be banned.
Banned. Don't ever. That is the most get off my lawn trash that I've ever seen out of any referee ever in life.
What would "Okay, Boomer" be in French?
Okay, Boomer.
No, that's terrible.
What
Slightly insulting.
what is old? Like okay, old.
I don't know, but this was the equivalent of it.
Oui, Boomer.
Yeah.
Hi.
We antique. It is. It's an Alpharetta
Yes.
dad. It's an Alpharetta dad yellow card.
I don't know what the equivalent of Alpharetta would be in France either.
Alpharetta.
We're
Thomas
doing this.
Tuchel,
Talk amongst yourselves.
continuing the story with Neymar.
Which part of it? The card or the celebration where he hurt a rib?
The celebration where he hurt a rib. PSG's manager Thomas Tuchel admitted the preparation for the fixture was not ideal, with several of the club's players out with Neymar ahead of his birthday on Wednesday for the white-themed party Sunday night at a venue close to the Eiffel Tower. There are pictures of Verratti, Cavani, and Memphis Depay, who were all heading in.
Well, yeah, he's going to hang out with his boys.
Quoting Tuchel, is it the best way to prepare for a match? No, clearly not. Is it the worst thing in the world? No. I always protect my players, and I really love my team. With this party, I accept that it is a bit difficult to protect the players, but the context is not simply black or white. It is a shame because we're giving people the chance to speak badly of us. We need to adapt to the situation, but I'm not going to leave a player on the bench or at home because they went out and celebrated.
So Tuchel is not going Bud Kilmer on it, and Neymar was playing the role of James Van Der Beek in this scenario.
I don't want your life.
I want Neymar to say that really bad.
That'd be awesome.
So the closest I can get to OK Boomer in
Google
French
Translate.
is bien servie personne.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's too much.
Of course, old person.
That's pretty good, though. I like it.
And so
Oh,
in the second
man.
half, after the rib injury in half number one, Icardi replaced Neymar. And for the record, all right,
Yeah.
so 2020,
Okay.
Neymar will be missing the match after his birthday. Guess what happened in 2019?
Did he hurt a different rib?
Probably.
Or did he hurt a different part of his body?
Probably a different body part. But yes, he missed the match after his birthday in 2019. Guess what happened in 2018?
He injured something else.
I would imagine so, considering he missed the match after his birthday.
Whoa.
This
I
is
mean,
the third
it's consistent.
consecutive year
There you go.
that Neymar will have missed the match after his birthday.
First off, I want to get an invite to a Neymar birthday
That's
party.
what I'm
Good
talking
grief.
about.
That sounds like a good time.
I mean, I have a lot of concerns about
I
what's
ain't wearing
happening at
white, though.
Neymar's parties.
I've never been to a birthday party where I hurt a rib.
I've been to a few.
I'm going to leave that one
how-
alone,
how-
Nick.
I've been to a few.
All right. Here's a new one. Liverpool plays Shrewsbury tomorrow
Check.
in the FA Cup replay.
That is accurate.
Jurgen Klopp will be watching on a laptop.
He's not showing up.
No, he's watching on a laptop.
No,
The
it's
guy
the
showing up?
break.
Oh.
It's
He
the
is
break.
watching on a laptop connected to the LFC TV live feed. He admitted that he was taking a stand against fixture congestion in English football, and he's going to watch it on a laptop.
Don't tell me that it means something then.
No.
Don't say that if you win this game, if you blow out Shrewsbury and it's like 5-0 and you walk out of there, I don't want the interim manager or the substitute or whatever you want.
Neil
to call it.
Critchley, by the way.
23
I don't
Critch,
want
yeah.
Neil to get there and be like, well, you know, it certainly meant a lot to the club. And no, don't tell me anything like that. You better tell me something like, yeah, we really don't care. This is us. Go full heel.
Neil doesn't know if he'll get messages from Klopp during the match.
He better get nothing. Shut the phone off.
He did get one during the Carabao Cup, but that's different. They're at the Club World Cup.
Was that the
and-
5-0 loss to Villa?
Yeah, but I mean, they're at the Club World Cup. This is a split squad kind of thing. That's a whole different element. This one, if he starts getting messages during the match.
No, the only thing that he should get is
You just see
execute-
you see Critchley looking at his
Yeah.
phone, going like waving formations around.
execute Order 66. That's the only thing that he should be getting on that. There should be absolutely nothing here. Don't. If you're taking the game off in a principled stand against match congestion, fixture congestion, don't tell me it means something. Don't talk to me about how hard the team worked. Don't talk about how you're so proud. Go full heel and be like, we didn't want to be here. Just go full beast mode. Okay. Yes, sir. So tell us, Neil, what did you think about the match? I'm just here so I won't get fined. Yes, but you guys seem to play really well against Shrewsbury Town.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I'm just here so I won't get fined. Like, change the inflection each time. That's the only thing you answer with.
Yeah, but then you got players like Curtis Jones. He's 19, just turned 19.
Good.
He will captain Liverpool for the first time in his life.
Sweet.
And then he better be a captain and toe the party line and say,
I'm just here so I don't
thank you
get
for
fined.
your question.
Oh, come on.
Seriously. No, if you're going to...
It's not their fault.
If you're going to do this for the organization, you want the organization to take a stand against fixture congestion, everybody down to the water boy better say the same blanking thing, which is, I'm just here so I won't get fined. Thank you for your question.
Shrewsbury's official supporters club accused Liverpool and Klopp of a lack of respect toward the Sky Bet League One
Exactly.
team.
I mean, it
and
is.
the competition itself.
It is.
It is.
After 2-goal hero Jason Cummings secured the shock second meeting with a trip to Chelsea awaiting the winners in the 5th round.
I mean, it is. I do agree. Fixture congestion is ridiculous.
Yes.
And having a league cup is dumb, no matter which energy drink or gummy bear company sponsors it.
Okay,
and
this is the
having
FA, that was the
replays is even dumber.
Yeah.
But you are in the competition,
Yeah.
and it is kind of disrespectful to Strawberry Town for that to happen. Sorry, Strawberry Town.
Yes.
Look, I still don't understand. Throw the game.
And this is the Italian speaking
It
on the
is.
show.
Much like they did against Villa when you had the U23s in the
Well,
gummy
no,
bear
you didn't have a
quarters.
choice there. That one you did not have a choice.
Just throw the game. If you have an issue with especially in tournaments where you have to win to advance.
You want Curtis Jones to go out there with the armband on for the first time, all proud, and then lay down?
I don't care what makes him proud.
Finger poke of doom and lay down.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yes, NWO.
The
Finger poke of
goalkeeper like pulls a hamstring as he's trying to save a shot. Ball goes in.
Yeah. It's like he
Yep.
bends over and he just does the old man and he keeps bending over and he just kind of falls onto the
Not
ground.
my problem.
It is the Italian on the show
If
with this
you-
idea.
If you want to take a principled stand, you look at everybody on the field and you say, when the official blows the whistle, nobody move.
That would be the most amazing thing
And
in
then
the
freeze
history of the
and
sport.
Shrewsbury goes right down the field and scores and go, now we will run. And you run around in circles. You can do cartwheels.
Be the largest
Could
margin
you
of victory
imagine
ever.
the media reaction in England?
That would be the only thing that would do this. It would take something so brazen and stupid to get the attention because they won't pay. The words mean nothing.
That would be mind blowing.
The words mean nothing. I'm taking a principled stand. I'm taking a vacation day. What's the FA going to do? Oh, we're going to fine you.
We're going to put you in FA
Okay.
jail.
You're gonna fine me what? $10,000? Okay, let me write a check really quick. Okay, who do you want this to go out to? You personally? No problem. Lose. If you don't want to continue and have match congestion, lose.
Accrington Stanley chairman Andy Holt called for Liverpool to be fined, while the FA says it warned clubs about the dates of replays and says it went to great lengths, in quotation marks, to ensure a break could happen at all.
Just okay. How many games have Liverpool played? Can we pull this up?
They've played a lot.
I mean, honestly, you can call it You could call it match fatigue. You could call it whatever you want. Guys, seriously, go 50%. If you win, you win. But if we lose, I don't care. No one here is going to lose your position on any sort of hierarchy if you just watch this game because we need it. Everyone else is taking a day off. This isn't your moment to have like a Disney movie ending.
No, the way they should do it is they should come out and Klopp can do exactly what he's doing. He can say what he's saying. All that's fine. And say, all right, if this group wins, they're playing the rest of the way. We're not playing the first team in the FA Cup anymore. We're not doing it. If you want to take the stand, say that. And yeah, fine us. Okay, fine. That's cool. If these guys win, they get the opportunity to play Chelsea. We're not going to bring the first team guys back in. Shouldn't be here anyway. So if the U23s, U19s, U17s, U14s, I don't care. If they beat Shrewsbury Town, cool. They get to play Chelsea in the next round. Do it. Neil Critchley can manage it.
Just lose.
You can't tell the kids to lose, though. That part you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can't tell Curtis Jones, 19, to wear the armband and lose. You can't tell him to do that.
You want to play for McNeely's Pub in
He
July?
might. Well, how many players are coming through Liverpool's academy and playing for Liverpool? Really, he probably will be playing for McNeely's
Good.
Pub at some point.
Then we will expedite.
Give him his
your exit,
moment.
sir.
No, let him play the
Get
U20.
the
Just
step
say
in.
the U23s are in the tournament the rest of the way.
Klopp said, I have to make decisions that aren't popular based on the situation we're in. The FA tried to move games to midweek to decrease intense period. Whoever was involved in that, maybe from us they forgot to say no. They gave us 2 weeks and it was not clear which week. We cannot have a week off and say, okay, there are 2 days to prepare for a Champions League game. Because we plan long term, I cannot plan when there is a real decisive period coming up. I decided 3 weeks ago we would have a mid-season break based on a letter we got in April 2019. I don't want to be in the middle of these discussions. If people think I'm lazy because I'm not there, I cannot change that, and I'm not interested. I just feel responsible for my players. If we find a way to play it, then nothing will change, and we have to change it.
Just say I'm never going to do anything with the FA Cup again and let Neil Critchley be the FA Cup manager. Just do it. Just do it. Here's an interesting one. So you remember Mario Mandzukic?
Yeah.
Yep.
He is playing in Qatar now.
Yep.
Making $11 billion, I'm sure.
1 goal in 5 games. Subbed off in the 69th minute with his team losing 1-0 last weekend.
He doesn't care.
Obviously.
It doesn't matter.
He might watch the game on a laptop that he should be playing
From the bench.
Yes.
Look,
1 goal in 5 in Qatar.
All right.
Look, this is why. If you could collect your paycheck and just lose.
Aldo Hale.
And I know that is the most. I get so many evil eyes and stank looks anytime I say anything like this because it is against all things American sports. And there are people who say, well, take some pride in what you do. I do. I take pride in the amount of money I have in my bank account. And if you're paying and I get to call it a day and protect my investment long term, I'm going to take that. And if that means that I intentionally bench everyone and tell my team to lose so we don't have to deal with this crap anymore, fine. In fact, going forward, we will intentionally lose the intro game to any of these stupid tournaments that prevent us from making our way to the top of every other thing we want to accomplish, like the Premier League and the Champions League. We are not going to advance in energy drink expo tournament. We're not doing that.
That one
The community
you might be
shield, the community. What I don't
Community
know.
shield.
Okay, the Gummy Bear Cup you might be able to pull that off with. The Community Shield, you're going to get some friction. The FA Cup, people are going to lose their minds.
Yes.
And that's why they're losing their minds about this one. Because it is history. It is all the things people say it is. The magic of the cup, all that, I get it.
Yeah.
Magic of the cup.
I really feel like if you want to make the stand, just say, then our cup team is the U23s. If they win, cool, they're going to keep playing. If they lose, then we're out. Oh, well, I don't care. I'm watching from a laptop with a Mai Tai in my hand. He should tell us what he's drinking while he's watching on
I'm
the
sure he
laptop.
will. I'm sure that there'll be some
sure.
Instagram post by his wife who will sit there and he'll take a picture of a hand and LFC TV on a monitor, and it'll be fruity drink and the Reds, and then Liverpool.
Okay. I got a good one here for you, Nick.
Okay.
Really good one. Okay, this is from Mondays with Reddit.
Mondays with Reddit.
There you go. Marcello Nietzsche. He is the president of the Italian Referee Association.
Oh.
Oh, here we go.
He reacted to a rant from Fiorentina president Rocco Commisso.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
I did not know about the rant to begin with.
Yes.
But he said that referees are disgusted by this kind of behavior. So we are going into the article at Corriere della
First
Sera.
time in 7 months that he claimed that he lashed out at officials.
Well, I guess that's good.
He's pacing himself.
Yeah, that's okay. All I'm getting one thing here is the quote is, "I'm not the fool from America."
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
About old Rocco.
Good work.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good for you.
All about the outburst of Commisso. All I say is that Italian referees are disgusted with this behavior. Oy.
Well, how
Stuff
do?
it. That's what I got to say. Stuff it.
Commisso replied indirectly, "I don't want favors from anyone. I just want to be treated like the others. Respect for Fiorentina."
There is a legacy a legacy in Serie A of favorable calls going to top teams.
To one team in particular, right?
One team in particular.
And where are they from?
We literally had a whole scandal over this called Calciopoli, okay?
Yeah.
There's a team, you may have heard of them, called Juventus.
Vaguely.
That was paying off officials, right? And Milan was doing it too. It's neither here nor there, but it happened. And so,
wow.
but even outside of the paying off of officials, it is known that officials are more lenient and more generous to certain clubs over others. This is not any sort of hidden thing. And so Rocco is probably one of the first guys who've come out and been so direct about it. Everyone has hinted about, calling this situation out, saying, "Oh well, certain teams get the calls and we don't."
This is what he said. This is translated.
There we go.
I am disgusted by the help that the referees grant Juventus. And Pavel Nedved of Juventus said, "It is being used a little too much, the excuse of the referees when Juve wins on the field. We are fed up." And I guess he offered Rocco to have tea and talk about it. And
okay.
I think
Camiso, I think, said this. Nedved, shut your mouth and don't talk to me. I don't talk to Nedved. If anything I talk to, it's president.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's why I love Rocco Camiso.
Oh, wow.
I am so happy he's in Serie A. And I think what Nedved was saying was he should have a cup of tea, which is more of like you should just sit down and like contemplate things. I think that's like his way of saying
Rocco went off.
He needed to. The first penalty call, fine. Okay. The defender's arm was in an unnatural position. I get it. That's fine. But the second one, it was like the most phantom ghost penalty of all time. It was Nick's Diving Academy. I could have.
See, there's something else that we need to put on the Teespring store. Nick's Diving Academy.
Yes, I will teach anyone how to dive. I will teach you how to dive, even if you are chasing someone. I am skilled.
Wait a minute, what?
I am well versed. It's very easy to do, but in this situation, Juve gets certain calls. That doesn't make up for the fact that Juve is the one team that has been financially stable, handling their business the correct way for so long. You can't knock that. It's facts and figures and numbers. They've done it. You cannot take away Juve's string of Scudettos. They've earned that. This is post-Calciopoli, so it's not like anyone's there's any sort of underhanded activity taking place. But there are some officials that when Juve's playing will just say, yep, penalty right there. And it's like, wait, hold up. There was no one around him, like within 2 feet. No.
Irrelevant and immaterial of the argument.
We're going to VAR. Yep, still calling a penalty. It is what it is.
Rocco said, Juventus has very high revenues, but they pay as much as we do to the Federation, and we must be treated in the same way.
Do they?
Nedved can't stand against me. He didn't have to talk like that. It was disrespectful. I ask respect for the league for the good of Italian football. I don't ask any favor because I don't need it, but I don't want them to treat me like the idiot from America.
Which happens.
That's Rocco.
No, it's what happens, though.
Fired up.
It's what happens because you have American businessmen who come in to Serie A and try to make something happen. And the Federation has looked at them time and time again. It's essentially like, okay, tourist, sure thing. You're going to spend your money here for a while. You're going to get frustrated, and you're going to leave. It happened with Piazza. It's happening with Jim Pilata. And they're thinking it's going to happen with Camiso. But the difference is Camiso is dumping tens of millions of dollars into a new training facility for Fiorentina. He is building out the internal structure of that club in a way that it has not been built out before. He's in talks of trying to get a new stadium that there's actually fist fights in city council over.
Do we have video of this?
I really need to get a hold of that video. But Camiso's committed. He's not going anywhere. And that's the difference. And yes, he left Italy when he was 12. So according to him, yes, he is Italian. 100% he's all in. But to the Italian community there, especially those in a position of influence, he's an American. So they're going to treat him differently. It is what it is. I don't like it. I hate it. But, you know.
We had the juice box numbers for the replays, by the way, for tomorrow.
Oh, do we?
Yes, we do. Courtesy of our friends at Bet365, as always. Birmingham and Coventry City. Birmingham is at plus 115 to win in regulation. Cardiff minus 110 to win in regulation against Reading. Mm-hmm. Derby County minus 225, the prohibitive favorite on the board against Northampton Town. Liverpool plus 100 against Strawberry to win in regulation.
What?
Plus 100, Liverpool, according to Bet365.
Ooh, I'll take that.
No.
I'll put some juice boxes on
No.
that.
Shrewsbury's at plus 240.
Yeah, I'm taking that.
And then, let's see, Newcastle's at plus 100 against Oxford United, who we hate with the heat of 1,000 suns, so we're rooting for Newcastle.
Wow, that was rude.
Hey, remember Carl Robinson?
No, I remember Carl Robinson, but man, that was harsh. That was the lack of caffeine talking.
Is it? I don't know. I think he had this level of hate even when he was well Mountain Dewed. When he was
No, I think it was after the Mountain Dew sabbatical started.
When the dew of mountain was coursing through his veins, he was still quite in the
No, because Carl
the heat
Robinson,
of 1,000 suns, though.
The heat of well, Carl Robinson
That's a
for
lot.
me holds a special place considering he was the manager for MK Dons.
Oh, that's right. There's a history here.
Yes, there is a history with the two of us.
Yeah,
and right now, the MK Dons and AFC Wimbledon are at the bottom of the table, 6 points clear of relegation right now, fighting it out amongst themselves.
Can I handle a Twitter question really quick?
Twitter question.
Sure.
All right, this is from Nathan Pugh.
Up the Reds, that is all.
Pew pew pew. Thoughts on the Maldini dynasty? Know of any other third-generation talents of such pedigree in any sport?
I know one.
Oh, go ahead.
I think. Yeah. The great one.
The great one?
Yes. Finally!
The Rock, yes.
Yes!
That's right. That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Chief Maivia?
Peter Maivia, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Rocky Soul Man Johnson.
Yep.
Yep.
Uh-huh. That's right.
There you go. There's your third. That's a pretty esteemed line.
I was straight. When I saw that tweet, I was like, yep, The Rock.
Yep. But also at the same time, if you want to go sideways with it, you can talk about the Usos and Roman Reigns because they're all related.
Roman Reigns
but we're not
stinks.
talking
Roman Reigns stinks. He's
Third
overrated.
generation.
And he shouldn't be pushed.
Straight like
and
that.
I'm tired of
We're
Roman
talking
Reigns.
cousins.
And then,
No, not talking. No.
straight up and down is what you're talking about.
That's the question, yes.
Okay.
Don't change Nathan's question.
Yeah. Besides, Roman Reigns needs to ditch that stupid tack vest he's wearing. I'm tired of that. Get a new outfit, man. I don't care.
Okay.
The stupid tack vest has got to go.
Georgia Tech fans are very upset with you right now.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great that he comes back to the school and does his deal, but Joe needs to ditch the tack vest.
Man.
That's a shoot.
All right. I'm trying to think in the soccer
talk.
world, third generation who has really done anything.
That's a tough one.
I'm not thinking of anybody off the top of my head. I mean, I know they're out there, but I'm not thinking of anybody
Because,
yet.
I'm thinking of like Redknapp and Carricker and stuff like that. I'm only like at 1.5 or 2.
Yeah. I can't think of anything like Maldini.
So
you had Cesare, Paolo, and then now you have Daniel.
So here's a trivia question for you.
Uh-oh.
Nick would be the only one who would get any of this.
Accurate.
All-time top 10 Serie A fathers and sons in terms of appearances and goals.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
You've got a few that are going back that I'm not recognizing, but there's some names that I recognize here.
My brain's not in condition for this.
In terms of appearances, both sets of Maldinis are at the top. They're 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Bruno and Daniele Conti.
Okay.
Over 600 appearances. Mazzola is 4. That's going back to like the 30s, 40s, 50s, I believe. Chiesa.
Yeah.
Enrico and Federico.
Enrico is, I believe, acting as Federico's agent right now as well.
Okay. Galli.
Okay.
Giovanni and Nicolo Galli. Crippa, Carlo and Massimo. Savoldi is number 8. Giuseppe and Gianluca. Number 10 was the only other one that I recognized. Roberto and Christian Vieri.
There you go. Christian Vieri was such a tank.
Oh.
That dude was a missile up top.
Yeah. 98 World Cup. That was his top.
He was a monster.
Yeah.
He was just a monster.
He's nuts. In a good way.
Yeah, he's absolutely nuts. But as far as my thoughts on the Maldini legacy, to be honest with you, I'm a little concerned just because if we've been talking in the Milan circles about Daniel Maldini for a long time. I really, really want this kid to succeed. You can't deny the pressure that's on him right now. And because the club is in such turmoil, I don't want them to wreck this kid. Because I really don't want a Maldini playing anywhere else but Milan. And if he ends up with like a Genoa or a Sassuolo because they've completely screwed this kid up, I will write many strongly worded emails, gentlemen. Many strongly worded. Hold up. Many strongly worded emails.
That's rather emphatic.
That's what I have to say about that, because it is something. It is so unique that you have a third generation talent coming up,
Right.
and it isn't. I mean, we're talking about the Maldinis. Cesare, amazing, phenomenal defender. Paolo,
Class.
yeah, he's on the Rushmore of defenders.
Class. Yeah.
I mean, amongst the greatest of all time. So, please, God, don't mess this kid up. That's all I'm asking. He could be an average player, and I'm okay with it.
Right.
Just don't screw him up.
Yeah.
I know that's sad. Isn't it so sad though that I have to talk about this about Milan? This should be a no-brainer. It should be like, he's gonna be amazing. And no. That's where we are now.
Did you see this where Roma's interested in making a summer move for Jesse Lingard?
Really?
I like Lingard, and this is where it gets weird with Manchester United as a whole. Like, what kind of talent do they have? Do they have talent? I mean, Rashford, I think, is a talent. I like Lingard a lot. Could he go to Roma? Yeah, I think he could play there.
Atletico Madrid is also possibly interested.
That's what's so weird about Manchester United. I mean, those are two clubs that, look.
Chris Smalling has made no bones about the fact that he is loving life in Roma.
And doing well.
I mean, they kind of got washed recently.
Well, I mean, there's other issues.
There are other issues there. But he has made no bones about the fact that he loves playing in Roma. So I can absolutely see more players looking and saying, maybe Serie A could be a good landing spot for me.
It kind of dovetails into this quote from our friend Oli.
Yeah.
It's a rebuild. You had to tear the house down, and you had to get players out that weren't here in their minds. We've got players here now who will go that extra yard. That culture I want to set. That's the Man United culture. I think there have been a lot more issues behind the scenes than we have known about at Manchester United. And that's why I still think you could change the manager and it doesn't change the club.
No,
correct. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I think you might as well continue where you're at for now. I go back and forth because you get to a point where maybe Ole loses the group, and even though it doesn't change anything, you might still have to make a change.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're there. That's the hard part about this, but there's bigger things that have to change. And if he can affect the culture, if he can change the culture, maybe there's a chance for things to change.
But
Ed still has to go. Don't get me wrong.
Ed still has to go. Just provide stability.
Yeah, and maybe that's the benefit of just keeping him there. And if they're a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th place team for maybe another year, but they stabilize.
But keep in mind that was one of the issues with Chelsea as well, because you were so quick to fire managers that the players knew they had a certain level of control. Real Madrid, you fired managers so quickly the players knew that they had some level of control. If you keep the manager, then some of the more problematic players will realize maybe I just need to push to get out of here because they're not changing anything and I got to go. But at worst, do no harm. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can do that. He can do no harm and at least keep them stable. And to Michelle, who was so generous to with her time to come up here last week and join us.
Michelle, not a lab?
Michelle, not alive. That's correct. She says, I can't wait to hear how your first week of training went. So she has. So Michelle has agreed to come on the show and talk about Norwich if I agree to train for a marathon. A triathlon. Triathlon.
And not a full, but it was
no, it's a sprint. It's
sprint try.
Yeah, sprint try. So to answer your question, Miss Michelle, yes, I am training. I have been running. Yes, I've been running and I have been lifting. And
you've done an amazing amount of 12-ounce curls at home.
Pole work starts this coming week. Look, swimming is the least of my concerns. I am in the Marines. I was a Class 1 swimmer. I can swim.
The bicicleta, is that your?
I can. I'm not a bicycle, but the bicycle work can be. I could probably use some work on that. That's where a lot of the lifting is coming in now, because I have to focus on rebuilding my legs because they've been such a disaster zone. 2 torn quads, calcium deposits in the knees. Yeah. At 39, I have 2 torn quads. I have calcium deposits in my knees. My legs have to be completely rebuilt. So
that's not good.
It's not.
We have
good.
the technology.
We have the technology. We can rebuild it. That technology is unfortunately out of my price range. So I have to go with the old school way and just spend weeks building it. So we'll see.
You want the rundown of the English papers?
Well, let's go.
James Maddison close to signing a new contract with Leicester City. England's bid to stage the 2030 Men's World Cup could be complicated by FIFA's willingness to listen to the radical idea of hosting what would be their centennial tournament across 2 continents.
It is the centennial tournament, but that's really stupid. That's just really dumb. And like logistics, do they matter anymore?
Guess not.
Yeah, once you decide to park it in Qatar and everywhere else, you've pretty much
opened the door to chaos.
You've opened the door to insanity.
So I mean, then let's just get really stupid with it. Like have a group in each
one in continent.
Have a group in each country that's hosted the World Cup before. So like Uruguay gets one. You got a group in Brazil. You got a group in Argentina, and then you get one in England and Germany, and Sweden gets a group, and France gets a group. And Spain gets a group, and Italy might get 2 groups.
The European knockout stages.
The U.S. and Mexico get groups. Japan and South Korea get groups. Let's just do it. South Africa, let's give them a group. Let's just do it.
There's something to that.
Sure.
There's something, because
money.
Well, yeah, well, one, there's a metric ton of money. 2, you have some countries who say, traveling to Europe or the Pacific is just too much. The time of year. It's so warm.
Well, then just let everybody in. Just have all the groups like that, and just everybody gets to come into the World Cup.
Yeah,
48 teams, it's not enough.
No, but seriously, like, so you do Brazil, you have it in Uruguay, and you have like a group that's in Uruguay, the South American group's there. You have
who goes to Brazil then?
You have Africa,
and who goes to Argentina?
Well, first of all, are any of the stadiums in Brazil remotely ready to be played in?
Yeah, there's some, because they still have league games in a lot of them.
Rodrigo, if you're listening, hit me up and tell me.
No, there's a lot that are
ready to
there's
go.
a lot that are no, forget it. But there's a lot that are good. They could host a group.
All I'm saying is,
as long as there's a game at Defensa Justicia Stadium, I'll be happy.
Defensa!
Hey, they're unbeaten in 5.
Defensa!
Unbeaten in their last 5.
Hey, my boys with the 47 advertisers on their kit.
Need a 48.
They're going to add like 20 more for the Copa Libertadores that starts.
Care.
First game in the Copa Libertadores.
I'm done waiting. I'm going to hit them up and find out how much it would cost to get the SDH logo.
All right. Well, let's see if we can get it ahead of March 3rd, where Defensa hosts Santos in the Copa Libertadores.
Wow.
March 3rd.
Oh, yes. I can't wait.
That's going to be unbelievable.
A couple of West Ham notes for you. Co-owners David Sullivan, David Gold, as well as Vice Chair Karen Brady are facing the threat of a black balloon protest from angry fans later this month with the Liverpool game at Anfield. And also, according to the Daily Mail, players will have their wages halved if they suffer relegation, leaving the club facing a mass exodus if they lose their top-flight status.
Hey, this is what we've talked about, because they had a tremendous amount of money spent on the transfer market.
Tremendous.
Yeah. This is what we talked about before, where you have some clubs when we talked earlier on in the season about how some of these clubs, like the Sheffield Uniteds of the world, who have found their way to the top end of the table, with financial fair play, you're going to see this. You're going to see a couple of instances of what happens with teams. One, that they're going to continue to spend like drunken sailors in the transfer market, and it's not going to work out. Milan, and they're going to drop like a lead balloon. And in this case, it looks like West Ham can join them there. And you're going to have some who are going to be forced to make smarter decisions instead of, hey, how much can we get Andy Carroll for again? What is that, 30, 40 million? Yeah, let's go ahead and sign him. Yeah. That's a great decision that no team ever in the Premiership has thought of. Let's bring Andy Carroll in for 30 mil and see what we can get out of him.
Hasn't that been tried before?
It may have been tried about a half dozen times.
How's that gone?
Not well.
I believe the word would be unsuccessfully.
Yeah. And so, and when you have some teams that start making smarter moves, building their academy, promoting youth talent, my God, what a shocking concept. They realize that there is a better path to not only fiscal success, but also success, a long-term sustainable success on the field. And you're starting to see this with some of these clubs. And for the West Hams of the world, for the AC Milans of the world, if you continue to spend like drunken sailors, you better hope to God it works out and you get into the top four. Because if you don't, you either be relegated, in West Ham's case, or you could be like AC Milan and probably get booted out of Europe for the second year in a row. So, vai con Dios, amigo, do what you're going to do. But,
we talked about Manchester United. Remember their big signing on deadline day? Odion Ighalo? Mm-hmm. Apparently they also were thinking about bringing in Brighton's Glenn Murray before they settled on Ighalo. That's where Manchester United is right now.
Buy low, sell high, and hope to God it works.
I mean, they've got an injury. They're trying to get somebody to replace Rashford while he's out. Like, it's not like you're trying to go out and sign a guy who's going to become a $100 million player.
But I'm with you. But that's the point. Is that there was a time when Man U could be like, they could just had a dartboard and they could just been like,
Man U was the brightest star on the
board. That's
board.
been gone for a long time now.
But you think a lot of Manchester United fans know that?
Some
recognize
do. Because to me, they are the Texas of soccer, where we are one player away from being back on top.
I don't get that vibe. I might be wrong. I don't get that vibe. I think it's down to resignation at this point. Of just
from a lot of Man U fans, yes, I get.
I think the majority are.
But there are a group of them out there that if we get just one more player, we're going to be there.
Oh, there's a group of Tennessee fans who think that too. And I mean, come on.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like there's always that group.
Oh, no matter where you are.
Yeah, there's always that group. But I think last week we achieved something.
What?
Very important. I think we brought the proposed reality series for Nicholas Bentner to the world stage.
Yes.
Because right after we talked about it, it's popped up in English in the Daily Mail. It's popped up in Australia in the news.com.au. It's everywhere. It's going to happen, but I don't think the English language media was paying attention to it until we talked about it for 30 minutes last week.
Sweet.
It's in ESPN Deportes. All right? Nicholas Bentner, ex compañero de Carlos Vela, deja su club a los 32 años para tener su reality show. They're finding hooks in ESPN Deportes to talk about Bentner's reality show.
Amen.
Discovery Networks is bringing it in the spring. Not our Discovery Networks. Discovery Networks over there.
Oh, man.
I mean, maybe we could probably find it. It's probably the same company. I don't know for sure.
Their failure is complete.
Oh, have we found anybody who can translate?
No, we have not had anyone step up to translate Danish for us yet.
What happened? How does that happen anyway? How do we get ancient aliens on the Learning Channel? That's what I want to know.
I mean, there's articles about this reality show in every language you can imagine. It has spread worldwide thanks to soccer over there.
As it should.
We bring the message that's important to the people, and this is something that should be on the lips of every mouth across America. The fact that this book, this tome of the gods, has been brought forward and presented to us, much like in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Mm-hmm. I feel that if we grab this book and lift it up, a giant boulder, will come crashing down after us, that poison darts will shoot out of the wall.
Oh, I figured you were thinking Last Crusade, where you're sitting there and you're trying to choose the correct chalice.
Yes, that as well. Like,
he has chosen poorly.
which one has the person on the front with the most vacant stare? Yeah. That's the book of a soccer player right there.
See, the other thing I'm learning about this is I don't think there's another language outside of English that has a translation for reality show.
No, I think you're probably right.
Everything is reality show.
Is it like Quarter Pounder with cheese?
Go.
No, because there's Royale with cheese.
No, but that's not. But it's not called a Quarter Pounder though. It's called a Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese.
Obviously, the metric system.
But there's nothing like.
There's nothing like Quarter Pounder with cheese.
It's just reality show. Everything is reality show. Whatever language it is, it says reality show.
And that reminds me, you know who wrote the Nicholas Bentner book?
Who?
Euroman.
What?
Yes.
Literally, that is the author of the book.
What?
Euroman is listed as author of the Nicholas Bentner Fit-Ringering.
This gets even better.
Yes. Euroman.
Was he one of the group
What else
members
has
for
Euroman
Eiffel 65?
done?
I'm efforting Euroman. Euroman.
That is incredible.
He sang the song right. I'm blue. Da, ba, dee, da, ba, da.
He's either that or he might be in the Blue Man Group. I don't know.
The Blue Man. I'm just saying. We have to find out who Euroman out.
Let's see. Kevin Magnuson, Michael Yule Eriksson, Yahya Hassan, Henrik Luse.
It's a group?
No. These are the other books that Euroman has written.
He goes by Euroman?
Euroman.
Wow.
This gets better.
Christian Eriksen was written by Euroman.
Oh, my God.
Mitliv som Mads Holger. So, yeah. Henrik Luse, Total Control. Henrik Luse, Total Control was written by Euroman.
Wow.
Yahya Hassan, Kevin Magnuson, Michael Yule Eriksson, Lars Hug, which sounds like a DJ. Lars Luca Rasmussen, Yannick Brenham. Oh, yeah. Euroman is your author of the Nicholas Bentner book.
So this is actually translated from a Polish article about the reality show because it's everywhere. I guess the boilerplate for the show, according to Nicholas Bentner himself, in my career, I filled kilometers of newsprint with myself, but most of the stories and scandals I described were exaggerated, colored, or even untrue. Now I want to show my partner what the everyday life of a couple in love looks like. I want to show how I really am. We've got a quote, too, from the manager at Rosenborg. At Copenhagen, sorry, where he left.
Right. Give it to
me. He was described, he said, there's no room in his team for a, quote, undertrained, unbridled star and scandalist who leads a too entertaining lifestyle.
Scandalist.
Yes.
Hashtag scandalist.
I don't know if scandalist is actually a thing,
Thou
but I like
art
it.
a
It is now.
scandalist.
I like it.
We're using it. Can we get that on a shirt? Scandalist.
Scandalist.
Okay, no, wait a minute. This is...
That needs to be...
Uh-oh, he's gone down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I mean, the rabbit hole's open.
We need that.
So...
I want that
okay, so
shirt.
now this was before he went to Copenhagen. He went to Copenhagen on a free from Rosenborg. So this is the Rosenborg manager who let him walk. He didn't go to the 2018 World Cup. On June 3rd, in a hotel at the Copenhagen airport, I heard, "You are not driving," from assistant Haredi, who was standing in the distance, unless he was afraid to approach me. All my world was in ruins. It was unfair. This is what Bentner wrote. And he added that later, embittered, he drank a bottle of wine for €3,000.
3,000
That's a hell of a
euros.
bottle of wine.
Great bottle of wine. I guess this is after he was cut from the Danish national team. Jeez.
What a tool. This guy's amazing.
I guess some daily paper said, however, this does not seem to be the case, and Bentner becoming a television celebrity a la David Beckham simply will not have time for football. David Beckham should go to that newspaper and slap them in the face for even being associated with this.
Okay, €3,000 modern day. $3,318.23 for that bottle of wine in U.S. dollars.
What a moron.
That's a hell of a
David
bottle of
Beckham
wine.
should call
That
him up and say,
wine
"Keep
better
your name."
drive me to campus and back for an entire month.
I'm telling $3,000 for a bottle of wine.
$3,300 US for a bottle of wine.
That bottle better be something special. When you open that bottle of wine, sunlight better come through the windows. Angels, mom.
Chorus. You get a chorus of 38 people that come just through the door. They've got your card key already.
Oh, yeah. It better come with concierge service.
I just want somebody to sign the guy. I mean,
know.
he hasn't said he's retired. He's 32.
This train
But
wreck
where-
must continue.
Where could he go?
Anywhere.
Nowhere.
Anywhere.
There's no one. McNeely's Pub would not sign this guy.
No, they wouldn't sign him because they don't have $3,000 bottles of wine.
That's exactly why this guy's not going to sign.
Would he go?
him.
Would he go to?
wants
Would he
his
go to the
train wreck.
UAE or Dubai
Yeah,
or Qatar?
of course he would. Of course he would.
They would not sign him there.
They signed Mario Mandzukic and he doesn't
he
even
was
play.
productive at Juve.
He stopped playing.
and he was denied a goal in his first appearance by VAR.
He's just like, I'm done.
Mandzukic was productive at Juve. How dare you, sir? Have you no decency?
He's given up.
He
They'd
has
signed
now.
Bentner.
He's given up now.
He'd signed
He
Bentner.
took one look around. He said, "Oh,
Nah, I'm done.
Where can I go get a bottle of beer?" They're like, "Nowhere." He's like, "Yeah, I'm done."
That'll be $32.50, sir.
Okay, this is just great. Marca in the headline that says about the show says El Delantero Más Malo.
Shocker.
That's awesome.
I
gotta see if they say any
100%
more.
I'm
about it.
absolutely stunned to see. For the second week in a row, we've gone down the Nicholas Bentner rabbit hole.
I was saving
I
it.
love
There's
this
just
so
so many
much.
new articles about it because of our show last week.
See what happens?
It's what happens. We're the vanguard, gentlemen.
Something
the
like
vanguard.
that. He needs to give us some money for this.
Could you imagine if Bentner
guess
came to the
he's-
States?
Nobody would care. They're not
that's
ready
the
for
thing.
that.
It wouldn't work here because we have.
No, not like MLS or something.
Yeah. No, just his reality show.
No, like if he ended up playing for McNeely's Pub
Right.
in like USL League 2 or something.
No.
No, because we have bigger train wrecks here. We have bigger and better train wrecks. And everything in America is like bigger, harder, faster. The train wreck TV shows.
Yes.
We are a country with Teen Mom. As a TV show.
Yes.
Like they're in their fifth instance of Teen Mom.
And the
You think
Octomom.
You think Nicholas Bentner is going
Nick
to
and
compete
Kate
with
plus
Teen
8?
Mom
I think he'll
or
try.
Catfish? There's nothing Nicholas Bentner could do that would keep up with Catfish. Like where they actually knock on the door, and it's like it's like some massive Yugoslavian dude, and it was like parading around.
This being Milt?
Yeah, I'm just saying, there's no way in the world, there's nothing Nicholas Bentner could do that would even cause a minor ripple in our idiocy space-time continuum. We are the grand masters of putting idiotic content out for the masses.
I think he would put forth a good effort, though.
Who would even know who he is? Like
Arsenal
the
fans
larger-
would, at least.
The Arsenal, that is not enough to sustain a TV show.
Well, wait a second. No. What if he did this?
Throw it on like streaming or something.
No. What if he did this? What if he wore like a wig?
No.
And a fake mustache.
What?
And was a completely and totally different identity.
No.
And tried to go through like open tryouts with somebody.
No, because he's crap now. That's what they say. He's crap.
That would be the best part, is that he wouldn't make the team.
Yeah, that would be the problem. Is he'd do this
That would be
thinking
the-
like,
that
oh, he's
would
going to
be
come
the-
out and shine
the
out, and then
humor.
some guy from like D3, school in Idaho would make the team ahead of him.
It would be like Curb Your Enthusiasm, where he would
College
take
of
the
the
wig and
Ozarks.
mustache off.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, I am Nicholas Bentner.
And
they would
everybody'd be like, wrong. You are so not Nicholas Bentner.
They'd be like, who? Who are you? Who? What? Like a bunch of 18-year-olds looking at him like, who are you supposed to be?
And then he goes to his phone and goes like Google and shows him or the Wikipedia page or something.
It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing.
So I don't think we got this one in his
It's a train
book
wreck.
reviews last time around. He said that Mesut Ozil was the man to talk to if you wanted a night on the town in London.
Well, how do?
He's not a bad-looking guy. I can see him,
I don't picture Mesut Ozil as Mr. Excitement.
I don't know about that. I think
Or do you think he's like some low-key dude that...
No, Nicholas Bentner saying he's the guy.
I'm saying
Really?
that I think Ozil's that guy who plays it really cool and calm, but he's the guy who, like, when I'm not saying I went to any of these parties when I was in college, but I'm just saying that
you have people who knew this.
I think you have 100% nailed it.
you have some people who's like, God, man, if I could just score some, like, if I could get like just. Who do you know around who has like a half pound of cocaine readily available? And Ozil's the guy who's like, hey, I know somebody.
Give me 20 minutes.
Forget that. Just come down to the car. like, wait, what?
Things
Like,
just
that's
escalated.
Oatsel. I'm just saying. I think Oatsel's that guy.
Here's the quote from Bentner about it. He does not act crazy or particularly demanding when he is out, but he knows how to fire it. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And like so many others, he loves ladies, no doubt about it.
Oh my God!
He knows how to fire it. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, Nicholas.
Ladies love cool mezit.
Hey,
Ay,
look,
Dios mío, Nicholas.
that's the
He
show.
knows how to fire it.
That's the show.
That's the quote.
If you put like almost like on the Chappelle Show when you had True Hollywood Stories with Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
May Charlie Murphy rest in peace. May Nicholas Bentner needs to get a show in England. It has to be in England where he does true footballer stories.
True footballer stories with Nicholas Bentner.
It's only going to last like 3 seasons, and that's the goal of it. It can't last longer than 3 seasons. And they have people who reenact his stories. It's really him sitting there, but they have like these horrible actors who reenact everything.
It's like on ID.
He'd be like, I remember the one time I ran into David Beckham and be like, hello, I'm David Beckham. And then they have like all these other normal guys. He does. Oh, come on. Why am I getting looks?
A little bit.
But you would have these horrible actors who play these
Just
characters.
get puppets.
Even better. Even better.
Just do
the puppets.
Just do special on TV with Nicholas Bentner. Bring that. Satanta could come back on that alone.
Yeah.
Just do that by itself.
But then you'd have to host it. Really, if you want to do it with puppets, then you bring Pepe LaCroix as your co-host.
No. You make up puppets. You bring back one of these youth coaches who he was hiding in a toilet from. I missed this back last January. He got a 50-day sentence for assaulting a taxi driver.
Whoa!
Hello.
Yeah, when he was at Rosenborg, he's bounced around so much it's hard to keep up with all of it. He admitted to hitting the taxi driver, but he said he felt threatened. The taxi driver lost his job too.
That's disappointing.
I guess the taxi driver was a jerk, according to Nicholas Bentner, and
so that
they
caused
both
Bentner
could
to
have
open
found better
fire.
ways to resolve their disagreement.
Yeah, no kidding.
The taxi driver said, "Wait a minute, what?" Bentner said, if I had just paid the amount the taxi meter showed, my girlfriend and I might not have been pursued by a car with an enraged driver behind the wheel. If only I hadn't made this decision, which I made in a split of a second while everything was boiling over.
See, this is true footballer stories.
This is
Yeah,
true football
he
stories.
dropped his appeal. He had an ankle bracelet. He got 50-day sentence.
Was the ankle bracelet on his left or his right foot?
I believe it's on his left.
And see, then that's the story of him trying to hang out at a pool with the ankle bracelet on. All of his friends trying to go out, and he's like, no, I can't go out. I have this ankle bracelet on.
Call Mezit.
And don't act like the cops didn't come after him at least once with that ankle bracelet on. That's the true Hollywood story. That's it, with the puppets. It's him sitting there with a beer, slinging him back, and you can bring his girlfriend on and make sure his girlfriend's a puppet too, on like sitting next to him. He's real. He's actually there in real life, but everyone else who appears on the show is a puppet.
As the narrator. He's the only real-life person as the narrator through each and every
Yes,
scene.
he's the only one. And
He's like Robert Stack in Unsolved Mysteries.
yes, 100%. He's the one person who's there, and everyone else is like
Is a puppet.
cheesy puppets. It can even be sock puppets. And the worse, the better. And he sits there with a beer, and he goes into these true Hollywood stories of Nicholas Bentner, true footballer stories, and he just puts everyone on blast. He would get whatever the English Emmy is, guaranteed.
All right, so we're going to finish with this. This is from 2013, so these are old quotes. He's probably had better ones since, but this is the 7 best Nicholas Bentner quotes. 7 best. From TalkSport in November of 2013. After scoring against Norway in a friendly, he said, and I guess this is when he was trying to get out of Arsenal, I'm going somewhere where I know I can be happy to play, with a team where I can score goals and preferably to win something. I do not want to sit on the bench and staring. I love playing lots of games. When asked which clubs would be able to offer him that, he responded, Real Madrid and Barcelona.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. Wow. I want to be the top scorer in the Premier League, top scorer at the World Cup, and within 5 years, I want to be among the best strikers in the world. Trust me, it will happen.
Sure.
That's what he said in 2009. That did not happen, by the way.
Yeah, well, I was hoping to date Emmanuel Sharik, and that didn't happen either. So, I mean,
Yeah. It is wrong to compare my salary to the salary of businessmen. Compare it to movie actors instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Down with that.
What?
Uh-oh.
Okay, this was after he crashed a car in
Magnificent.
September of 2009. His immediate reaction was slightly odd. This is the quote. "My body is my livelihood, and I was desperate to find out if I was okay. So I took off all my clothes, even my pants, picked up a wing mirror that had come off the car, and checked myself over front and back.
What?
Then I climbed back into the car
mirror.
to find my phone. I rang the club to say I'd be late for training."
Was he naked at the time that he rang the club?
I don't know.
I want a television show immediately. BBC 7, call me up. There's someone who listens to this show has pull. You know what? I've never done this, Jason.
Yeah?
Jason, I've never done this before.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Call Darren.
No.
Call Darren.
No, I'm not
I need
doing it.
strings in England
No.
pulled. I want a Nicholas Bentner television show.
I just want this show to come to the States, the one he's going to do. And we'll
will-
do the puppet show next. That's got to be the follow-up.
I'm just saying, no, real stories, but with puppets, it needs to happen. I need strings pulled.
Aye. So I guess when our Arsenal would do this, you have teams that do like psychological tests and
Yeah.
stuff, and you had the Wonderlic test here with the NFL draft.
Right.
Well, I guess there's a confidence test at Arsenal that they do.
Oh.
How confident are you?
Well, they say Bentner recorded at an impossible 10 out of 9. I mean,
I'm incredibly.
well, when he said, "If you ask me if I'm one of the best strikers in the world, I say yes because I believe it." Yeah, he probably did get a 10 out of 9.
He's Zoolander. He's
Yes.
soccer Zoolander.
I should start every game. I should be playing every minute of every match, and always be in the team.
Oh, my God. This is amazing.
Man.
I want Ben Stiller on line 2. I want the BBC on line 1. And Nicholas Bentner on whoever is acting as his agent at the moment. I need them on line 4.
I guess he was asked
You need
about...
Ed the Sock to host it is what you
Yeah.
need.
He was asked about being so confident, and he said, whether it's tennis, badminton, football, whatever, I just go out there and think I can do it. Most of the time I can.
I need this. We need this to happen for the good of humanity.
Needs to happen. He should actually, this is what should happen. He should go to Argentina and play for Diego Maradona at Gimnasia.
Oh, wow.
They need somebody to score some goals. So, do it. Why not? That reality show would be a hit in Argentina.
It would be.
It would be.
It would be.
I mean,
it'd be on
you
thing
take the
say.
model girlfriend with you, and you have the reality show based in Argentina instead. And I mean, Gimnasia would probably give him a ton of money if they got some kind of cut off of the advertising for the show.
Of course.
They might stay up if that happens.
What if you paired if you had Bentner v. Icardi?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'd be down with this.
I mean, they're both kind of like vacant goons.
If you put the Bentners and the Icardis in the same house and had a reality show.
Well, one is it's Bittner's girlfriend, so you'd have to pit his girlfriend against Wanda. Icardi.
Nobody's taking Wanda.
Nobody's taking out Wanda.
No, Wanda is the boss.
Yeah, she is. She's the one. She's the one wag who I think would slice you with no troubles
Yes.
and get away with it.
Yep.
She would Instagram it. She would put it on
Yep.
Insta.
She'd
as
Periscope
she was,
it.
Yeah, as she was cutting you, it would be her people would be around her, like one on Periscope, one on Insta. It would be
3-camera shoot.
3-camera shoot,
fully
with
lighted.
cell phones. Morrow, turn on the camera lights.
See what happens when we go down the Nicholas Bentner rabbit hole. We
Yeah.
program an entire network.
Yeah, we're gonna finish with a goal. If you haven't seen it, you need to go see Ignacio Scocco's goal for River last night to put that game away.
That was inappropriate.
Yes, he might have ended a man's life on the goal.
No kidding.
The guy got megged and took about 5 steps and fell on his face. I've never seen a meg do that to somebody, but it did. Then he scored. It's ridiculous. That puts River 3 points up in Argentina with 5 games to play. They're 3 points up on Boca. Lanús is 4 points back. Argentinos is 5 points back. It's starting to separate a little bit at the top. We've been following Relegation Watch with our friend Diego, and they're not done. Remember, the Copa de la Superliga games count, so you got 5 games plus 11 in that, so you got 16 games. Patronato is 2 points better than you, and you've played the same number of matches. Aldosivi didn't play the one season because they were in the second division. They're percentage points ahead of you. You can catch them. And Colón and Central Cordoba are safe right now, and you can catch both of them. For comparison's sake, Colón is safe. They played the same number of matches. Colón has 8 points on Gimnasia. But this season, Gimnasia is level with Colón. So they've got to get better. Colón was the team that signed Brian Fernandez and then thought he was missing, but he was hiding out at a friend's house because the pressure got to be too much. Their chances do not look good at the moment. That's not really a good sign when your star signing is hiding out and you think he's missing.
Yes.
And you don't know where he's hiding out. So, Gimnasia, I hope they stay up. And I hope Diego gets carried off the field and to whatever party that's going to ensue in De La Plata. And oh, my God.
Ugh.
Oh, my God. He can take all of the thrones that have been built for him and have them at the party. Because he gets a new one every place he goes.
Which would be epic.
It's insane. All I know is it's not going to come down to it because of the Copa de la Superliga. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, week 23, and this is all still be determined because, schedule, who cares in Argentina, really? You find out you're going to play 48 hours before because things are always arranged for TV. But Boca hosting Gimnasia on the final day of the season. It will be Diego's return to Boca, to La Bombonera.
Wow.
Yes.
You thought the celebration at Newell's was maybe a little too much?
Oh, good Lord.
I feel like I'm Bautista right now, screaming, "Give me what I want."
Yes.
At maximum levels.
I just can't wait for this. And you could get a scenario where Diego Maradona's Gimnasia keeps Boca from winning the title, or you could get the scenario where Diego Maradona's Gimnasia does what Nick is asking Liverpool to do and run around in circles and fall over and allow Boca to win the title.
Yes, give me what I want.
Provided that Gimnasia gets to stay up.
Well, no, they have 11 games after that, so there's no way to guarantee anything. That's what makes this so difficult.
Argentina will not let Diego Maradona get wrong. It's not happening.
You got to remember, there are so many people who love him and are insane and lose their minds about him, but there are plenty of people who hate him too.
The people who hate him are probably not willing to go as far with insane things as the people who love him.
I don't know. Maybe so, but I'm not putting it past anybody at this point.
I mean, if it comes down to my life or keeping Diego,
I believe it'd be the latter, sir.
League, I'm just saying he's staying in the top of the league. I'm not.
River goes to
Atletico
Tucumán on the final day, but River's got that 3-point lead on Boca. If it comes down to Boca has to beat Maradona's Gimnasia on the final day to win the title, I mean, it's already going to be insane just Maradona back at La Bombonera on the field.
Oh, yeah.
But if the game actually means something either way, oh, my God.
Do you think he still has the jacket, the white fur coat?
You know he does. Well, no, actually, he might have sold that for drugs a long time ago.
I at least need a
Somebody
replica.
will give him another one, though.
I need him to show up at La Bombonera with the white fur coat.
Somebody will give him one.
That happen.
Somebody will give him one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that would be, if you took him with the jacket, or with the coat, excuse me, and the throne.
Yeah, you got to carry him in on the throne.
Oh, yeah.
That would be clean. That's something that you can look at, like every future rapper would look at and be like,
I want that.
I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah.
I want that.
There's
my next concert, I want that.
Mm-hmm. I highly recommend. It was on the BBC. I found it on YouTube. I think it was before the 2014 World Cup. I guess Gary Lineker did a series of shows like this where he traveled around. And it's called When Lineker Met Maradona. Yeah, it was ahead of the 2014 World Cup. And this, I guess, was in one of the eras of Maradona where he was healthy and not completely coked out of his gourd. There was a Legends, 5-a-side game in who knows what kind of place this was. I mean, I don't know how you got out of there alive. The dressing room was like smaller than the patio here at the Brewhouse Cafe. And like Lineker was told that, you know, Maradona would meet him there, and he goes in and meets him, and he shakes hands, and Maradona goes out and plays. He's throwing his body around, like doing scissor kicks and chilenas. And then the next day, like Lineker gets to go to Maradona's house to sit down with him for an interview.
Oh, wow.
Well, he goes and like knocks on the door and says who he is, and, you know, of course there's like a intercom system and all this, and the person on the other end's like, that's too early. And Lineker's like, well, I was told 3 o'clock. Like, I'm here at 3 o'clock. And he's like, no, it's too early. Couple hours. Come back a couple hours. So he comes back. And I think he might have actually got turned away again, and then came back finally. And they had this like giant asado, like for Lineker to meet Maradona. And they sit down and they're talking.
Wow.
And it's actually a really cool interview. Like, it's really good, because Diego's lucid at this point, and he's actually making sense. And they talk about all the hand of God and all the memories from it. And then the cool part is the next day, Lineker goes with Maradona to a Boca game in the box at La Bombonera with Maradona. And it's like shot from watching this. And Lineker, who's, I mean, as big of a player as you're going to find, is like a little boy at the way they're reacting to Maradona. It's like an hour. It's a really good show. It's really cool.
I'm finding that one.
You need to find it. It's really good.
You think that's a YouTuber?
It's on YouTube. That's where I found it. Yes.
All right. That's happening.
So that's how you can spend the rest of your evening now that we are done.
Yes.
That's happening. Well, you know, another way you can spend your evening is by
How is that?
Perusing either on Teespring, or you can reach out directly to any of us on the show and find a way to get one of these fantastic hats, scarves, or beanies. They're all here. They're all stylish. They are amazing. And you, my friends, can grab you one and get yourself hooked up.
Boom.
In proper
True.
fashion.
That is accurate.
If you want us to do more cool things, if you want us to travel and go places and bring you content from both here and abroad, preferably abroad, then you buy this stuff, we will bring you the content. That is our guarantee to you that we can make that kind of stuff happen. So, Mr. Nelson, anything before we're closing?
Let's see. Haiti beat Panama 6-0 in Olympic women's qualifying this evening. USA and Costa Rica, 8:30.
Excellent.
That might have to go on a TV here at the Brewhouse Cafe in just a moment.
Might have to go on TV.
9,452 televisions available on any given day.
That's fantastic. And so thank you again, everyone, for listening. Whether you are listening live or whether you are listening later on your favorite podcasters, we appreciate each and every one of you. For the people who come out to the show, Mr. Michael Ruiz, thank you for coming out. We appreciate it. And to everyone else, we will hope to see you out here very, very soon. Until then, mucha, mucha euro, y'all.
The Lira.